Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Vintage Cube Draft, where we have an absolute banger of a pack to start. And it's the perfect kind of pack, too, because it's not an easy decision. Sometimes it's like, oh, nice, I got a Black Lotus, I'll take that. But here we have a lot of very close options. The 5 cards that I think are genuine, well, actually, you could first pick Baleful Strix, you could maybe first pick Porcelain Legionnaire, but the 5 cards that I'm looking at here are Oko, Natural Order, Minsc and Boo, Library of Alexandria, and Spell Pierce. I think I'm going to narrow it down to the Planeswalkers. They probably are the best. They're also definitely the most fun to me. And as for which one is better, I think Oko might be a little bit better, but Minsc and Boo is really fun. I haven't played much with this card. Yeah, I'm just going to go on the record and say I think Oko is actually the better pick here, but I'm going to take the Minsc and Boo. It's not in blue. If blue is open, I'll regret this pick a little bit, but it's a really, really strong card, and yeah, I think we'll just go with this. Now we'll take Fiery Confluence. Spar's Headquarters is pretty good. If we take an Oko, we could go in that direction. I love Pest Infestation. Swords to Plowshares is maybe the strongest card in this pack, but Fiery Confluence is really, really good. It's like kind of weird in mid-range decks. It's really good in aggressive decks and in control decks, where in control it can like blow up artifacts and sweep the board, and in aggressive decks it can dome them for 6. In like mid-range decks, it's not as good because we might have our own creatures, so the 1 damage to each creature effect is less good. But of course, you get to choose how much damage you're dealing to each creature. So I think that is probably worth taking here over the Pest Infestation. Although I do love this card. Okay, here we see a red-green card, and we are in red-green, but I think we got to take the Ketria Triome. This is the perfect land. There's no way that Oko comes around, but I really wish we had both. If we could be, like, Teamer, Broken Planeswalkers, that would be so much fun, but we'll still take the Triome pretty happily. Good chance the Huntmaster comes around. Not much else here. I mean, Goblin Rabblemaster is very good, maybe. It actually is probably better in red-green if you can go, like, turn 1 Arbor Elf, turn 2 Rabblemaster. That closes out the game pretty quickly, but let's just take the Ketria Triome here. Okay, now we see Polluted Delta. Not exactly the traditional red-green fetch land, but it does find our Triome already, and then could get better from there. There's also Wall of Roots, like ramping into Minsc and Boo is good, of course, but I think I'd still rather just take the fetch land here. Smuggler's Copter is maybe the strongest card other than Polluted Delta, and we could end up being a Copter deck. This could certainly still go aggro if red's super open, but let's take the Polluted Delta. Okay, now we see nothing great here. There's Savannah if we want to play, like, potentially an Omnath deck of some sort. We can't find it with Polluted Delta, though. There's Brazen Borrower, Spellseeker as decent blue cards. I'm not in love with either of these green cards. Could just take Coalition Relic. Yeah, I think I'll take the Relic here. Kind of close, but Coalition Relic is strong. Okay, now we see Seasoned Pyromancer. I think that's a pretty easy pickup here. Grizzlebrand is great. We got a couple Planeswalkers. Like, we could try to do some Junding, but let's just take the good red card. Okay, now we see Breeding Pool and Ralgren Triome. We don't have anything pulling us towards white right now. Daze is also kind of good, but I'd rather take the blue fixing before we take the blue spells. I think I'm just going to take the Breeding Pool, although I guess we are kind of base red. This doesn't cast Minsc and Boo, though. I think it's probably still the pick, though. Yeah, let's take the Ralgren Triome over Breeding Pool. Polluted Delta already gets green, and this makes it... it already gets green and red, but this makes it also get white, which, we might not end up playing white, but we do see a lot of white cards here. Alright, pretty easy Burst Lightning now. Showdown of the Skulls is fine if we're playing white, which we may be, but we want some cheap interaction, and Burst Lightning is perfect for that. Wow. Inferno Titan Wield. There's also Spell Pierce. I think we take the Titan, though. We don't have any blue cards right now. We might not even end up playing blue. Spell Pierce is really good, but it's also kind of, like, you don't want to be splashing Spell Pierce. It's a kind of card that you want to have available on turn 1, turn 2, and we just don't look like we're going to have the mana base for that. And Inferno Titan is very, very strong. We can also play it on turn 4 off of Coalition Relic. Ooh, nice. Pest Infestation came around. Was not expecting to see that, but I'm happy about it. Now we see Rabble Master and Hunt Master. I think I'm going to take the Hunt Master here. It looks like we're a little bit more mid-range than Hyper Aggro. Rabble Master is good, but this also helps us to carve out the red-green slice of the color pie. Are we an Eidolon deck? Probably not. I think I'm actually going to take Goblin Bombardment speculatively. Okay, I don't. At this point, I think we just lean towards red-green and take the Primal Command. I'll take. I guess we'll take Gideon and not play either, and then Boomlock Courier. Okay, so red-green is kind of open. Our curve is high. We need some dorks, but I like this start a lot. Okay, interesting pick here. We have Teferi and Omnath. So if we want to try and go 4-color, that's an option. We don't have the best start for 4-color, but it's okay. If we want to stay red-green, there's not much for us, honestly. We could also take Jace and just go Teamer. Jace or Teferi. I think it is kind of between those two. And then maybe we can wheel the Omnath. They're both powerful. They're kind of comparably powerful. It mostly comes down to which one is easier to cast. This is a double splash, and this is also a double splash, but just double blue. I think Jace is going to be a bit easier here. It's close, but I'm going to take the Jace. Okay, Mana Vault. Good pickup. That lets us ramp into turn 2 Jace, turn 3 Primeval or Inferno Titan. Yeah, pretty easy Mana Vault here. Okay, I think we got to just take the Taiga. It might come around, but this is kind of the perfect land. Firebolt's great. I hope this wheels. Force of Vigor is a card that I would happily main deck. Vorinclex is pretty good too, but yeah, let's take the Taiga. This is a pretty perfect land for us here. Although we can't find it off Polluted Delta. Alright, Ragavan's great. I would love Steam Vents too, but Ragavan is that card. This is in the rare tier of cards you take over excellent lands. Okay, Stomping Ground is nice. Also Glen and Arbor Elf. But I think we got to take the Verdant Catacombs here. Yeah, a perfect fetch line is just great. This actually doesn't get Rogran Triome, funnily enough. So at this point, I kind of do wish I'd taken Breeding Pool over the Triome, but still, really, really good to pick up another fetch land here. So we could certainly be a Ren and 6 deck. Okay. I don't really want more 4-drops. Oracle's nice, but it is pretty expensive. I think I'd rather just take the Dismember for a cheap instant speed removal spell. Okay. Not really a Wheel of Fortune deck. Could play Suspicious Stowaway. Could also just be red-green. Azorius Signet is okay. It doesn't add red or green, but it does ramp us into Jace. I think I'll take this. We want some cheap mana. I would rather have other cheap mana than this, but we'll see. Okay, Orcish Lumberjack. I've never played with this card before, but this seems kind of sweet. It may or may not, like, you know, this can let us play a turn 2 Minsc and Boo. It also can just, like, sacrifice a land and then you lose to a counterspell, but high upside pick for sure. Okay, Omnath Wheeled. That's kind of sweet. It's good with the fetch lands. We'll definitely take that. And so we'll see. I'm not going to play Omnath off of just a couple white sources, but Azorius Signet plus Coalition Relic helps a lot. We do have the Triome, of course. Now we see another Signet, which I think is the pick here. Elspeth Conqueror's Death is fine, but double white is not really where we want to be. Okay, some good lands here, and a Firebolt. So how do we want to proceed? I mean, we could just cut these and then have really good mana for red-green and just take the Firebolt. Honestly, I think that is the pick. These lands are fine, but neither of our fetch lands can grab Plateau, and Burst of Lightning is really, or Firebolt's really good. It's close, but I think that is the right pick. Take Niv Visit and probably not play it. So, both of these are still in the maybe pile. It really comes down to how many fetch lands we get. I do want a couple more heavy hitters in the middle of the curve, though. We started with like all of this, but we haven't gotten more in this slot since the beginning of the draft. So more things to power out with Mana Vault and Orcish Lumberjack. Okay, Stomping Ground Wheeling is awesome. I don't think we're a Hellrider deck. We are a little bit light on creatures, so let's take Knight of the Reliquary, which is also in the maybe pile. All right, deck's looking good. The best things we could get here would be, I mean, well, any broken mana would be good, of course. Ancestral Recall would be good. We don't get any of that here, though. This pack is pretty bad for us. We could take Devoted Druid. We could take Mystic Confluence. We could take Spirebluff Canal. I think maybe the move is to not play white, but to try to play blue and take Mystic Confluence. Plus, then we have a little bit of Confluence Tribal. Yeah, let's go for that. It's a little weird to splash only double blue cards, but our fixing is not bad. Both of these fetch lands can get blue, so we have 4 free blue sources in our mana, and then we also have 3 artifacts that can add blue mana. Okay, here we see Lightning Bolt. Is it Signet? A couple lands that are okay. I think we just want to take the Bolt here. And now we have good removal. 4 1-mana removal spells is really, really nice in a lot of matchups. Okay, Tireless Tracker looks pretty good. Avalanche Riders is fine. Horizon Canopy could be good. Maybe Tundra. But I think we just want to take the Tracker. Good pickup. Another good thing to accelerate into. Okay, great pack for us here. There's Lelia, Xenagos, and Dak Faden. I think I'm going to take the Dak. Lelia is really good, though. But it might come around. Red is kind of open. Maybe Lelia is actually better than Dak. Hmm. We don't have that many ways to deal with artifacts, though. Yeah, I think I will take the Dak. It's close, but I love this card. Stealing an art, it just feels so good when they play turn 2 Signet and you play turn 3 Dak. Okay, there's a Preordain. I don't think we're a counterspell deck. That's a little too tough on the mana. We could take Manamorphose. I think we just take the Preordain, though. Also Sacred Foundry if we want to try and splash white. But this is another land that we can't get with Polluted Delta or Verdant Catacombs. Yeah, let's just take the Preordain. Okay, there's a Leovold, but we have no real ways to splash black. I mean, Zagoth Triumph would let us splash black. There's also Chain Lightning, Badlands. Robber of the Rich is pretty good, but I think I'm going to take Hex Drinker. This card's great. Okay. Now we see a few options. Time Warp is good. I think I'm going to take the Grim Lavamancer, though. Yeah, let's take that. May or may not make the main deck, well, but it's really good against small creatures. We do need to make some cuts here. Maybe we move Dismember to the board and just play the burn in the main deck. Jetmir's Garden, does that help us? It's another red-green land. The problem is that we have a lot of red 1-mana spells, so I don't want to have too many tapped lands. I think I'll still take it, though. Okay, we don't really have any outs to splash blue. We'll take the Devoted Druid here. Or just splash black, rather. Okay, gotta make a couple cuts. Maybe we move Grim Lavamancer to the board. We'll take a Wear Tear. Pretty good pickup. I think I'll start with it in the board, but definitely a good one. We're a little bit light on top end now, so I don't really want to cut like Primal Command. We could cut Coalition Relic. I think Avalanche Riders is actually pretty nice here. Maybe we cut the preordain. The mana is going to be a little weird. Having two double blue cards is tricky. Okay, Lilia did not come around. No surprise there. I don't think Xenaghost is very good. Although it is really good with Inferno Titan. We'll try it. I'm not persuaded it's going to be good, but it could be. Okay, Sacred Foundry, does that help us at all? I do think it's the pick. Robber of the Rich is actually a pretty good card. Okay, a lot of options here. One option is to just cut blue from the main deck, which I think I might actually do. And then I wish I had Lelia for sure. Could also just play Dak, but not play Jace, and just go for only single blue cards. And then, so Rogran Triumph is blue-red. This is the perfect one, and then this is just another red-green line. I'll cut the Jetmir's Garden, I think. Um, and then we play one more card, which is probably Grim Lavamancer over Beaumont Courier or Dismember. Could also play the Xenaghost. It's very good with Inferno Titan, but not good with most of the rest of our cards. Yeah, I think this is how we want to run it. We're a little heavy on mana here, I guess. We have 20 mana sources. 21 with Devoted Druid. And Orcish Lumberjack. I think this is still fine, though. So if we did this, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 red. That's good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green. That seems fine, too. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue. Honestly, I think our blue is actually kind of good because with all these artifacts, too. Let's get these two back in here. It gives us a lot better grinding ability. Then we can cut one of these mountains for one more island. Cut the Grim Lavamancer again. And cut Devoted Druid, I think. Yeah, I think that's a good way to run it. This deck seems pretty sweet. Some Teamer mid-range with some very powerful Planeswalkers. Hoping to drop turn 2 Minsc and Boo as often as possible. We have two different ways to do that. See you in round 1. Alright, here we are for round 1. We're on the draw, but with a great hand. Robber of the Rich is definitely much better when you're on the play, but still a good card. This looks like just a blue-red deck. We don't have any green cards or green mana, but that's fine. Grim Lavamancer, okay. Interesting. Okay, I think I'll play the Mana Vault here. I'm not, like, gonna jam Dak Fade next turn, probably, but I also don't really care about killing this Grim Lavamancer immediately. Kari Zev, alright. That I will kill. Okay, let's play Forest. And pass. And I'm going to not bolt this now. I'll bolt it at the beginning of combat. Because if they play Lelia, I'd rather kill that instead. Grim Lavamancer, alright. Bolt here. If we had double red, we could also go for just Fiery Confluence to sweep their board, but I don't want to bank on drawing red and take a bunch of damage. Ketria Triome. Okay, let's just play the Ketria Triome, give us our extra red source, pass, and I'm not going to play anything, and our plan is to probably play Fiery Confluence next turn. So I'm also not going to burst Lightning to kill one of these guys. Best case scenario is they just play like Rabblemaster or some other creature that dies to the Fiery Confluence. So I'm just going to take the 2. Life total is still reasonably high. And then really, really hoping to see some sort of creature post-combat. Stomp. Okay, I think given this, I want to use this. I want to take this stomp out or the Bone Crusher Giant out with a Fiery Confluence. So I'm gonna Burst Lightning this in response, save some damage, and then next turn they'll probably just play this and we can kill them both. Tireless Tracker, great draw. And then we play land, get our thing, and if they use Grim Lavamancer to try and kill the tracker, we can tap the Mana Vault to sack the clue. Dire Fleet Daredevil. Okay. They can use that to cast a bolt, which does kill the tracker either way, unfortunately. They're deciding to attack rather than hold up the activation. It's fine. I think I'm just gonna play Dak and Loot here. And if they want, they can attack the Dak. Red Elemental Blast. Huh. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna play land and crack this clue. And then hopefully they play this. We can take 3 or 4, and then sweep their board, and we'll be in a pretty good position. We don't have any way to win yet, but we have tons of mana, lots of really good top decks, and our life total is still high. Okay, they're really just not playing this Bone Crusher Giant. I don't know if they forgot about it, or maybe they just think it's better to play Eidolon first. But I will now use the Fiery Confluence, get a clean 3 for 1. Mystic Confluence, not bad. So 2 damage to each creature, 2 damage to each opponent. And then we pass and we have Mana Vault or Mystic Confluence available. We could have played Robber of the Rich to hit for 2, but I think I'd rather just hold up Confluence to counter the Giant and draw 2. And then we'll just untap Mana Vault on our turn. And then post board, we're going to make a couple changes. Rampaging Frostodon. They're really just holding this Bone Crusher Giant. Kind of cool to play Mystic Confluence and Fiery Confluence in the same turn. Double Cryptic Command. Counter draw 2. Pest Infestation is not bad. Ragavan. Also not bad. Do we have another island? No, we only have this triome. Okay. So I'm going to just dash Ragavan, I think. We could just play both, actually. Yeah, no, let's play both. Who's attacking now? Bummer that we don't have enough mana for that, but it's fine. They can play the Bone Crusher Giant, which does block our guys pretty well. I think I will untap this. Okay, so let's just play a big Pest Infestation. And I'm actually just going to kill off my own Mana Vault, I think. Actually, no, that's not right. Let's just kill nothing. Because we can easily untap this Mana Vault. So we'll make 6 1/1s and pass. And then next turn, I mean, this turn we don't do anything, but next turn we can theoretically dash Ragavan and swing with everything. They block the Ragavan and take 8. Although, actually, no, they also have the Mishra's Factory, so maybe we do need to wait a little longer. Great draw. Hopefully this works. Nice. Okay, so now we could dash Ragavan and attack and get the Robber of the Rich trigger, but I think I'd rather just put all the mana into this now. There's no, like, no rush to attack, and I don't want to open myself up to a big attack on the backswing. So we'll pass this turn, and then next turn we can go to work. All right, nice. So playing against mono red should be a pretty good matchup. We don't have that much life gain, but we do have a lot of cheap removal. Let's bring in Grim Lavamancer. Um, Avalanche Riders is probably kind of weak. Robber of the Rich is also kind of weak. We can bring in Devoted Druid. Dismember paying a lot of life is not great, but it is a cheap removal spell. Maybe we already have enough cheap removal spells, though. Dak Faden seems kind of weak. Omnath would be really good if we could play it. Maybe we can play it, actually. How many white sources would we have if we play Jetmir's Garden? Then we'd have one, two... Oh, Sacred Foundry shouldn't be in the deck normally, but now it maybe should. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think that's worth it, with also having Azorius Signet. So we'll bring that in, cut an island, I think, and then cut Dak Faden for Omnath. And then do we want to play Wear Tear, which does kill Eidolon? I don't think so. Knight of the Reliquary is also an option. I think I like everything else in the deck a little better, though. We could just cut Jace. Jace is maybe hard to cast and, like, easy for them to kill. Yeah, I think I like doing it like this. Mystic Confluence I'll still keep in, though. Alright, good hand. Turn 1 Ragavan, potentially turn 3 Minsc and Boo. No burn, I guess. That's the one downside. They have a Ragavan of their own. Okay, well, I would love to draw a burn spell. Otherwise, we'll just try to block the Ragavan. This is a key point in the game. If they have a way to kill this Ragavan and then just start hitting us with Rare Ragavan, and we also can't block it next turn, it's really bad. But it looks like we will be able to trade Ragavans, so our Nimble Pilferer is merely a trade, or like a burn spell of sorts. Okay, Eidolon is fine. We can kill that with Pest Infestation later. So next turn we can either play Minsc and Boo or Pest Infestation. Minsc and Boo, I mean, it really just depends on what they add to the board. If they don't add anything to the board, it's hard to imagine they don't add anything to the board. But if they didn't, we could play Minsc and Boo and just have a 4/4 blocker, which would be pretty good. But assuming they play some other little creature here, then Minsc and Boo will be a little vulnerable. Phyrexian Revoker to shut down the thing. Alright, that's pretty good. So now we need to decide which one of these things we want to kill with Pest Infestation. I think it's just going to be the Eidolon here. First of all, it's a worse blocker. Or like it's a better attacker. We can block the Revoker more easily with pests. Excuse me. And second of all, we had 4 mana next turn either way. So let's go land, Pest Infestation here. So the Eidolon did deal us 6 damage, but we get 2 pests out of the deal that will gain us 2 life back. So it's like they get 4 damage and we get two 1/1s. I think we get a slightly better end of that deal, although we did also spend 150% of the mana. All right, they can't play that, so they're just playing Direfleet Daredevil as a 2/1. So this looks like a good window for Minsc and Boo. If they have a Lightning Bolt, is bad. Hopefully they don't. Yes. And then we'll make this a 4/4. Man, this card is so good. It's a 4/4 with haste and trample for 4 with just an insane amount of upside. Right now we're leaving it back to block to defend the Minsc and Boo. And the next turn we'll probably just go for the Minsc and Boo minus. I mean, we could just make our Boo a 7/7 and try to beat down, but I think it's a little better to draw some cards, clear the board, get our value while we know we can. So we're going to say no here. Timeless Heroes. We could attack first, but I think I'd rather. Well, maybe we should attack first. If they double block, that's fine. And now they could kill the Boo in response with like a Char, although they probably would have just killed the Minsc and Boo. But if they do kill the Boo, then that's fine. I'll just sack one of the pest tokens. Do we need? I don't think we need the Simic Signet, so I'll just kill the first striker. I guess given that we're drawing 4 cards, we might have a use for that mana, but I think we'll be fine. Okay, we have Primal Command here. A few different options. I think I do like going for the Primal Command to gain 7 life and search up an Inferno Titan. Could put one of these things on top, but I think just gaining 7 life seems like it puts it out of reach. "21 life, baby. Beat that, burn." I think Inferno Titan is better than Omnath here, given that we just gained 7 life. Still no need to attack with these pests. We'll just defend our Boo, pass turn. So they can kill our island if they want to. It's still fine. If they attack, I'll double block and trade. Then we get to make another Boo. This card is so good. Put more counters on it. I think I'm just gonna bolt this now so we get to use the Simic Signet. I think this only gets tap lands now. Kind of annoying. Um, we could just play Inferno Titan. I think I would rather just play Mana Vault into Signet though and set up. Because this gives us access to Mystic Confluence this turn if we want to. And if we play Inferno Titan, it opens us up to get hit by Zealous Conscripts, which wouldn't be instant lethal, but would really put us on the back foot again. All right, sweet. Pretty smooth games. I mean, I think we have a great matchup because we had so much cheap burn. We are 1-0. I'll see you in round two. All right, we're back for round two against Anademan. We are on the draw, but we have a good hand. 0 for 2 on the die rolls here. Let's keep. Then do we want to lead on Ragavan or Mana Vault? Ooh, Imperial Seal. I really wish we could dash Ragavan and take whatever card they put on top. Unfortunately, we don't have the right colors for that. I think we were just gonna play Ragavan here. Pass turn. So they're probably playing Reanimator. Could be a tough matchup because our removal spells don't line up well against their creatures. And so, okay, Imperial Seal for Ancestral Recall is good value, but it's not terrible. If they can't kill our Ragavan, I like our position a lot. Turnabout. Okay, so they're playing Storm, probably. We could Primal Command. I think we're going to play it a little slower, though. And just play Simic Signet. We could also play Seasoned Pyromancer and just try to pressure them as quickly as possible. Actually, that seems kind of good. We can play Pyromancer discarding Primal Command and Simic Signet. And then just start like trying to give them as few turns as possible. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. If I didn't see the turnabout, I wouldn't do this because I thought they were just playing control. But now that it looks like they're playing a much more combo-y deck, I want to just kill them as quickly as possible. They get Time Walk. Wow, Time Walk and Ancestral Recall. That's a little scary. Let's Firebolt this so we can get in with Ragavan. Attack with everything. This doesn't do anything for us. So let's play the Hex Drinker. Then play Mana Vault and tap it to put this all the way up to have protection from instants and sorceries immediately. And are we threatening lethal next turn? We have exactly lethal for the turn 4 kill. It's kind of sweet. Pass back. Oh, maybe we actually should have played Mountain there. Yeah, we should have played Mountain because we could have leveled up Hex Drinker all the way next turn. They have the Time Walk that we know about. Helm of Awakening. All right. They could definitely win here. And then for game 2, what do we want to bring in? Maybe Wear Tear. Maybe Preordain, but we don't have that much for this matchup. All right, we'll see what they get. They have a lot of. I mean, their deck looks good for a Storm deck. I think Storm decks can only ever be so good, but they have 2 really broken cards and then 3 tutors to find them. So one thing, the Ragavan exiling turnabout could be relevant here. And then who knows their win conditions. I think it's unlikely that Aetherflux Reservoir is their only win condition, but um, they are down a win condition now, which could be relevant. Ragavan's a pretty good card, I think. We could bring in Devoted Druid. We could bring in Grim Lavamancer. They get Echo of Eons. Okay, that's not that scary. They need mana before that becomes good. They can just play it now if they want to, but I mean, then they just lose on board. I'm feeling very good about the decision to play Seasoned Pyromancer here. We just want to give them as few turns as possible to set up. So if they play Echo of Eons, they're dead unless they can find Black Lotus or some fast mana. All right, fair enough, fair enough. They get to flashback Time Walk. And this also means they're no longer dead on board next turn, so we might get punished for the Hex Drinker misplay. They could play Echo of Eons for 5 mana with 1 black up. Oof, bad draws. Although, no, not that bad. Dak Fade and stealing Arcane Proxy wins the game. I was looking for burn, and we don't have burn, but still, should be able to close this one out. So let's go land, Dak Faden. Steal your artifact. Alright, nice. So, 1-0 against Storm. Is there anything we don't want here? Honestly, the main deck looks fine. It's not really a good Jace matchup. Same with Huntmaster, just kind of clunky. And then all this burn is not amazing. But there's not that much in the board that would be that much better. Wear Tear is potentially worth it. I'll just cut Sacred Foundry for a Mountain. I think it's very unlikely to matter, but might as well. Um, hmm. Grim Lavamancer is probably a bit better than like Burst Lightning. I think we can cut the Jace. Burst Lightning can just burn them out. Oh wait, we do want Sacred Foundry now that we have what happened to that Sacred Foundry? Oh. Now that we have Wear Tear. I think we want to run it like this. Maybe Devoted Druid is good since they're light on removal. Like Devoted Druid over. I do kind of like a lot of these cards. Mystic Confluence is counter magic. Maybe we cut Primal Command. Yeah, let's cut Primal Command. It does attack their mana, but it's just a really slow way to attack their mana. Hmm. No red mana. We do have the turn 2 Signet, and Fiery Confluence is probably good in the matchup. We also have Minsc and Boo. I think I'm going to keep it. It's not great, but if we find a red source in our first 3 draws, we can play turn 3 Minsc and Boo, which is really quick pressure. But we are all in on finding a red source. I think we have 12, and we have, 3 draws to find it. Having both of our basic islands in our opener is quite awkward. We only have 2 in the deck. I almost cut one when we cut the Jace. Alright, so they're kind of undoing a mulligan here. This puts them +1 card. Mountain. They should probably upkeep this Ancestral in case we have mana leak. If we could counter the Ancestral, the game is basically over. They're down to 2 cards already. Let's see that mountain. Among non-mountain draws, Hexdrinker wasn't too bad. Yeah, they do fire off the Ancestral, of course. Good play. Oh man, drawing the red spell. Worst case scenario. At least, like, even drawing a forest here would be fine. Their deck is consistent. I'll give them that much. So if we find forest, we can play Hexdrinker and then level it up to level 4. If we find red source, we can just play Minsc and Boo. Oh, man. All right, this is like obviously going as poorly as it could have realistically. Drawing 3 spells in a row here. We have 15 lands. That would be really good draws. At this point, any land, even a forest, would be good. This is a bad attack. Well, maybe not. I guess there's a chance our life total is relevant. Oh, right, if they're going to time walk, yeah. Okay, so now we want to find red source so we can kill the Grim Monolith. Bribery. Okay, we have Inferno Titan in our hand. They could get Huntmaster of the Fells, which isn't that scary. They could get Avalanche Riders and blow up one of our islands. Good to know about bribery. I think I'm not going to cut Inferno Titan still, but it is good to know. All right, we really, really need to hit a land here, especially a red source, but any land would be good. Brutal. I think I'm going to kill this Huntmaster here. Yeah. And then next turn, if we find red source, we can kill Monolith and both of their creatures. I said brutal, but actually Coalition Relic was a good draw there. I would definitely rather a basic mountain, but Coalition Relic was pretty good. They only have 2 cards. I don't think one of them is Echo of Eons. If they kill the Hex Drinker, that's fine. If they Thoughtseize us, that's fine. We just don't want to see them do anything super proactive. Yawgmoth's Will. That's good. It is going to mean that they exile all of their good cards. Lion's Eye Diamond, okay. I think we still don't care about trading Hex Drinker for Wolf Token. Tinker? Well, we have ways to kill artifacts, but if they put Blightsteel Colossus into play, we just lose. Bolas Citadel is probably beatable, although I really want to find a red source. I mean, yeah, it seems pretty hard for us to win this game. Which is what happens when you only have 2 islands in your red-green deck. Fiery Confluence will be good here. I think at this point we do just trade Hex Drinker for Wolf Token if they offer that. Arcane Proxy flashing back Mystical Tutor. They've already gotten a lot of their best things, like Time Walk is in exile, Yawgmoth's Will, Ancestral Recall, Tinker. Their card quality is through the roof over there. I think it's still pretty beatable because Storm is just a weak archetype, but they have like pretty much the best version of it you could ask for. The Helm of Awakening is symmetrical, so that's one thing to note. Doesn't help us too much though here where our problem is colored mana more than anything else. They have Time Warp as well. Oh, jeez. Okay, I think we're just dead here. I'll let them do their thing, though. Jeez. So our out now is that they get a little too greedy. Okay, they're down to 4, so if they don't kill us here, we can kill them with Fiery Confluence. Hard to imagine that working. Of course, now we draw all our red lands. This is their plan. That gains them enough life that I'll concede. You got me. All right, tough game there. Having 2 islands just felt terrible. We maybe should have just shipped that hand. Let's cut an island for. Do we? I mean, it feels maybe too results oriented to add a mountain. But how many red sources are we playing? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a lot. I think I'm still honestly going to go to 13 though. Among other, well, actually, yeah, I think I'm just gonna cut Mystic Confluence and just not try to play double blue spells. Mystic Confluence is good, but it's so much worse on the mana. And then we can play Jetmir's Garden or another forest. I think I'll just play another forest. All right. We're not going to draw 2 islands this game. Oh, we're going to draw no lands, though. All right, we'll keep this. Not thrilled with it. Keep and put back the 4-drop, I think. They multiplied last game too, but the thing is, almost every game they're going to have Ancestral Recall because they have 2 1-mana tutors, so they essentially have 3 copies of it, and then they also have Spellseeker, which is kind of like a 4th copy. But I like that we have Dark Fade and Fiery Confluence to blow up their artifacts. Play this and pass, and then really, really hope to hit lands again. I mean, we're playing a lot of lands. Alright, that we can kill, but they might get a lot of value out of it before we can kill it. We desperately want to draw land again. Hardcast Bullets to Citadel. Okay, I mean, if we find a land and can steal that, we're in great shape. Come on, deck. Please. Yes! That feels good. Dark Fade and steal your Bullets to Citadel. Don't mind if I do. Can't play that, but that's fine. Now we're in a great position. They sort of used all of their stuff. Like, they only have 2 cards. They only have 3 mana. Imperial Seal. They're down to 1 card. So Imperial Seal, if we can empty our hand, we can actually take whatever card they get off of the Robber of the Rich, but I don't know if we're going to be able to empty our hand that well. Yeah, let's just let them have whatever card they have on top. We'll go land, Avalanche Riders blowing up an island, Signet, Minsc and Boo. I mean, yeah, Bold Citadel is kind of insane. Let's stack ourselves. Nice, we found Ragavan. That is the perfect card for us here. In fact, that might just be lethal. So we get whatever card they put on top. Nice. Okay, so hitting the land for Dark Faden was huge. It's insane to think that, like, we would have literally no permanents in play except for 2 lands and a Robber of the Rich if we had not drawn the 1 land. And because we drew the 1 land, this is our board on turn 4. I'll take it. We're 2-0. Let's get that trophy. See you in the finals. Alright, here we are for the finals against Doe's MTG. D ounce, I don't know. We're on the play. First time to win the die roll, and it's a welcome time for the finals. And a great hand. We'll keep this. So it probably doesn't matter too much. I guess theoretically we could hold it Mystic Confluence on turn two if we play Island. So I'll play Island over um, Mountain. I'm definitely not playing Azorius Signet on turn one. Our plan is just to get Robber of the Rich down next turn, almost definitely. Elvish Reclaimer, interesting. So Robber of the Rich will trigger here. Pretty good. Plow Under. Wow, that could be devastating. We could cast that now. I think this says you can use mana as though it was any color. Yeah. So we can cast Plow Under next turn. Of course, if they pass with Elvish Reclaimer up, they can sacrifice one of the lands, which makes it a little bit less devastating, but still pretty strong. If they're just spending their entire turn playing land go with Elvish Reclaimer up, that just is not that powerful. But if they play any spell, then it's also pretty bad for them. Even if it's something that can block the Robber of the Rich, we'll still get to plow under them and put them back down to zero lands. With a good hand, too. Putting them to zero lands if we have no follow up doesn't do that much, but here we have plenty of gas. Although our colored situation is a little awkward. We do need another red source. Green should be a good matchup with all our cheap burn. We can bring in Grim Lavamancer and Dismember. Maybe Devoted Druid too. Like, this card maybe should just be in the main deck. It's bad against burn spells, specifically. But against decks that don't have removal, it's often going to be just better than a Simic Signet or something. It doesn't add blue mana, which is a bit of a downside, but not that bad. Okay, good draw. We'll play land just to make sure that we get our Robber of the Rich trigger. And we exile what? Tireless Tracker. Nice. So I think I'm not going to play Plow Under this turn. I'm going to play the Tracker first. So let's go Signet into Tracker. And to crack this for Taiga. And we can crack the clue and turn, and then we have Mystic Confluence or Plow Under up next turn. Tracker drawing his cards is a bit of a number with Robber of the Rich, but I think that's fine. They don't even use their Reclaimer? What? That just cannot be right. At this point, the thing I'm most afraid of is like Eureka or Channel. So, I mean, Mystic Confluence is decent against Eureka, but Channel Emrakul is scary, so we want to put their life total low as quickly as possible. So they can do this at instant speed, but it puts the land into play tapped. Damn it. Alright. They have the channel. Do they have the Emrakul? Fun games. We could have held up Mystic Confluence, I guess, if we were really afraid of this. Okay, it looks like it's not Emrakul at least. Green Suns for 6. Okay, that's actually not too bad. Primeval Titan, presumably. I mean, it is pretty bad actually. It is pretty bad. Strip mine, guys, cradle. All right. Attack Faden, interesting. Um, so we have a few options here. I think the best option is to go Mystic Confluence to bounce both and draw. And that way we can hit them down to 4, which means we have a decent chance of being able to burn them out. I think that's our best bet. Doesn't seem ideal, but we have a lot of burn in the deck. Boo, not bad. We do get another Robber of the Rich trigger, hitting Ignoble Hierarch. Cannot play that this turn. So we pass. They're at 4. If they just play, like, right now the Guy's Cradle doesn't tap for mana, so they actually cannot play the Titan. So Burst Lightning would just win, Firebolt would just win, and Fiery Confluence would just win. So we have 3 just like burn spells that kill them. Okay, that seems totally fine. Then they played the Reclaimer. Do they have a third creature? Green Suns for 1. Okay. So Minsc and Boo will make a 4/4 with Trample. They're not dead on board to that, but they have to block with all of their creatures. We could just draw one of our I win cards. Ragavan. We do have enough mana to dash that, actually. I think that means we have lethal. So Minsc and Boo. Nice. All right. Interesting game there, but we are able to take it down. Let's bring in Lavamancer, Dismember. What do we not want? Primal Command's probably a little slow again. It just, like, putting a land on top against a Primeval Titan deck is not going to do too much. This is a matchup where I do kind of like Jace. I also kind of like Devoted Druid. On the draw, Robber of the Rich might be a little awkward, but we do have a decent number of cheap plays. I do like Avalanche Riders a lot for dealing with Guy's Cradle. Ragavan is not at his best here, but I think it's still worth playing. I guess I'll cut the Robber of the Rich. Yeah, I think that's probably the right line. We'll submit like this. Okay. Double 1 mana burn spell is really good. The rest of the hand sucks. We have 16 lands. Oh man, it's close. I think I am going to keep it on the strength of these 2 cards. I wouldn't fault someone for shipping this, but especially when they're on a mulligan, just disrupting their early mana creatures is huge. Like, they might just fold to this Arbor Elf dying. And we're on the draw with... Okay, if we're going to draw a spell, that's the best one. And if we find a green source, Hex Drinker can potentially solo it. Okay, not exactly what I had in mind, but any land there is a good draw. Okay, we can bolt this. We have 15 out of 31 cards, but also 2 signets. So 17 mana sources we could draw. We draw Sacred Foundry. Should be a mountain, but in this case it's fine. I mean, it should be a forest is what we want, of course. But I'll just put that into play tapped. Now we're 1 green source away from playing Huntmaster. And pretty... Oh, but that's annoying. Pretty close to being able to play Mystic Confluence 2. The best draw at this point would be Coalition Relic. I'm not going to Burst Lightning this Eternal Witness. Okay. Let's discard Pest Infestation plus Mystic Confluence, I think. Still no green source. Alright, do they get the land off the top? They don't. That's good. That land came out of the hand. Now we still want to find a green source. Brutal. Okay, let's attack with everything, and then if they block with the Augur of Autumn, we'll kill the Augur. Burst Lightning. Now they probably will not hit their land drop next turn since they don't have a land on top of their deck. Once again, we want to pressure their life total as much as possible to try and take them out of channel range. If we draw an island or a mountain... Oh no, natural order. Brutal. Yeah, that is game. Ah, man, just having the wrong colors of mana really sucks. We could have this Jetmir's Garden, which, of course, if the Sacred Foundry was a Jetmir's Garden, we win this game. Hopefully Primeval Titan is in their hand. Bummer. Is there any way we can beat this? If we find Forest immediately, maybe Minsc and Boo can outpace them. But the problem is they have 3 lands in their... or 3 spells in their hand that are probably expensive. Yeah, that's Eternal Witness is really good with Natural Order. We had a bunch of burn spells to trade 1 for 1 with their creatures, but then Eternal Witness leaving a body back in play is, of course, very relevant here. Forest, please. Just so painful. Like, not drawing the forest immediately, we can't really feel too bad about that. But at this point, we've drawn an additional 8 cards. We're playing 8 or 9 green sources. But that's fine. It should go to game 3 anyways. I think we can cut past Infestation for Robber of the Rich back in the deck for the play. We'll just jump block with the Avalanche Riders because we don't want to pay for that. But I don't... I mean, maybe we could get there with Minsc and Boo still. The problem is we just don't have a good way to deal with a creature this big. It's a green source at long last. I don't think there's any way we could get a cheesy Fiery Confluence win. I mean, if they play no more spells, if they just really flood out, we could win. But it's very unlikely. Yeah, I'm going to concede to almost anything they could be casting here, including Ugin. All right. GG. Frustrating game for sure. How many green sources are we playing? Three, four, five, six, seven, eight. We actually don't even have that many green cards in the deck, too. Actually, wait, did we literally draw every single... Yeah, we drew every single green card in the deck. That's hilarious. Let's cut Pest Infestation, bring in Robber of the Rich, and run it back. I don't need to add another green source when we have so few green cards, no double green. Okay, I mean, Orcish Lumberjack is not great when you're light on lands, but I will keep this hand. I think I will play it also over Grim Lavamancer on turn 1. Oh! Can't play it on turn 1. Alright, Catchery Triumph then. And then next turn we'll go Dismember their 1-drop and then play our tapped land. Uh, you know what? I'm going to get a little greedy and play the Lavamancer first. They have 3 mana for this turn. I don't think there's anything too bad that they can do with 3 mana. Channel gets us either way. I guess they could go Channel into Green Sun Zenith this way. But if they just play Augur of Autumn or something, then we can go Dismember plus use the Lavamancer, and that's a much better sequence for it. Yeah, this is great. I would still love to draw land. Okay. Um, yeah, so Dismember here. Lavamancer here. Just want to keep their board as clear as possible. Make natural order as unthreatening as possible. Okay, we can kill that. Still really want to land. Nice. So we can go land, Burst Lightning, Robber of the Rich, and Robber of the Rich will trigger here. Just a forest, unfortunately. So we don't have another burn spell, so we can't take them. If they have another cheap creature, we can't take them off of natural order. Also, if they have Forest Channel, Primeval Titan, we can't stop that. But we've killed a lot of small creatures. They might be running out of early plays, and hopefully we can just stick them with a bunch of expensive stuff in hand. And then next turn we can play Orcish Lumberjack, which sets up for Inferno Titan. Nice. Okay, Coalition Relic. I think that's better than playing Orcish Lumberjack. Or better than playing Simic Signet. So we'll play Relic into Lumberjack. Well, actually, we should have just attacked first. Slight misplay there. Because we're triggering the Robber or the Rich either way. But we do just... Well, we'll see what we hit. Ugin couldn't play that either way. I wish they were drawing that, though. Although they also could have Channel. Alright, so now we're going to play the Lumberjack and pass with the plan of playing Inferno Titan next turn. We only have 1 forest to sacrifice to Catchery Triome, but we only need 1 Orcish Lumberjack activation here. Alright, there's the channel. They can't play Ugin. They can play Green Sun Zenith for prime time. They can't play Emrakul. Traktusk, that's good with channel. Now they could spend all of their life for Emrakul. Okay, that is fine. Yeah, let's just play Inferno Titan. I guess I'll play Simic Signet into Emrakul, or into Inferno Titan. And then we don't have any attacks here, but they have 3 mana. I guess if they have land, natural order, they could do something, but there's not that much that would even be bad for us here. Nice. All right. Red-green mid-range, taking it down, baby. We're slowly climbing the leaderboard. I've only done a few leagues, but my goal, I missed the first week, so I'm not going to get all the way to the top, but I'd like to be on the top, visible. Let's pull up the deck list. So this was our deck. We were playing red-green, splashing blue for Dak Faden, Jace, and Mystic Confluence. We never played Jace, but Dak Faden stole Bolus the Citadel once, and Mystic Confluence was good in multiple junctures. So I think the blue splash was probably worth it. And the deck was pretty sweet. I mean, we won with Ragavan, we won with Hexdrinker. Having 3 1-mana burn spells was really good in a lot of matchups. Minsc and Boo won us a game. Inferno Titan did its thing. Really sweet league all around. I love red-green. I think it's typically a little underpowered, but it has a few standouts, most notably Minsc and Boo and Ren and 6, which we unfortunately did not get. But definitely a really fun league. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.